I'm trying to tell y'all eventually. I'm gonna have to go back to the beginning to tell y'all my story. But see, me telling y'all this here, people don't know. Like I say, I'm not saying Baton Rouge is the most retarded city it is right now in the world. But if you look at the news around the world, that bitch the most retarded city in the world. And I'm just trying to say, we fall under this fucking law where we walk in the motherfucking prison guilty and ain't much do shit. You know what I'm saying? Everybody not innocent. I mean, everybody not guilty in this motherfucker. And I come to realize that as me going through this fucking Parish prison. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want nobody to think that by me being the pussy or anything that I used to be, mean that niggas that I fuck with, that I come up with are like that. It's different grains of purple weed, different grains of hoes, different grains of anything. But what I'm telling you is, I came up around niggas that always looked out for me, took care of me. You know what I'm saying? I came up around my nigga Travis Polar. I came up around hanging around niggas Jermaine, Johnson, Damien. I came up around niggas like my Uncle Brent, Big Hub. You know, I came up around niggas like Coconut, Joe Pine, them. It's a lot of niggas I came up around with Hawkman. It's a lot of them Tally Boy, T-Yacht, them Dookie, you know, Toby. It's a lot of my niggas fought for me so I wouldn't have to go through a lot of this shit. But it's the point when you step on that other side of that motherfucking thing and you in that bitch by yourself and ain't no dogs, you fuck. So here it is after I couldn't live on K2. Had enough of this shit. I just want to live, you know what I'm saying? And this red son of a bitch lady, she flashing out on me because I called her bitch because she called me a pussy. So I look, they got this tall motherfucker, and I remember his name, Lamont, something, and they got a bunch of them niggas, so they coming down in and they talking to me all stupid and grabbing me and shit like that. My dog, Tremaine Sepp, I thought he was about to be crazy or fucking up to try to help me, but that nigga like, So I could see it in his eyes. But as they was taking me in, they was pulling me and shit like that, they was taking me to this tank. And they had, and the tank is like by the child house, on the old building, by the child house. And you know, right there, I'm waiting and shit, they got this big old motherfucking man, Doug or something, you know what I'm saying? And they all in there writing and shit like that. And I'm telling them my situation. I got my ass whooped because I fucked up and I sold a nigga pills that I thought I was gonna get money from my pills, and the nigga with my ass. I didn't tell on no fucking about it. No. In this whole fucking story, I'm telling on the shit that I did that was fucked up. So as he was looking at me and stuff like that, he's looking at me, his big fucking ass looking at me, and I'm respecting this game. But what made me feel so good when he came to me and he said, I don't have to go back down that till. So, okay, cool. So in the process of this shit, well, I'm saying, well, maybe I'm about to be out the old prison again. I could get the fuck out. So, about 6 o'clock, all that shit fell on. I done fell asleep and shit. I woke up, I'm hearing motherfuckers chilling. I'm hearing motherfuckers out of the night just walking the mouth and this shit. But I woke up 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm looking at the motherfucking man come to me, and he tall as a motherfucker. Man, that motherfucker was tall. He was a salt. But he took me to this, he told me to follow him. So I followed him. And as I followed him, he went to this man in class, and I can't think of his man's name, but they had a deputy named E, Big Harold. It was some mean, ugly-looking motherfuckers. And see that Lamont? I can't stand that son of a bitch. Them bitches that, them people dirty, y'all. I'm just saying, bro, everybody ain't guilty, bro. Them people dirty. Them niggas, if I tell you them bitches, if you tell them you're from the South and the park don't get along, them bitches putting you in the park. If you're telling you from the Dixon and the Ghost Town, they putting you in them bitches don't give a fuck. Lions, tigers, and bears, oh my. So here it is, they take me and they roll me up and I'm going on F6. F6. I just can't seem to get out of this motherfucking prison. So I go on F6, and as I go to F6, I finally get to see my brother-in-law. He over on F5, Derek Gaines, he on F5, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, man, I want to tell him right now, man, is everything safe over here, you know? Is it straight for me to go in this bitch? Like, I got a fucking choice or an opportunity to say whether or not I want to be in that bitch. You know what I'm saying? But as I'm telling him this, looking him in my eyes, hoping he can understand my fucking eye contact, really. But again, I'm not from used to this. I don't know how these niggas work around here. I'm not used to this shit from where I'm fucking from. So as they open up the gate, I go on the gate, you know what I'm saying? They got They ain't got too many young niggas, but they got a couple of niggas, you know what I'm saying, look like, older than me. They was a couple years older than me. And I seen a nigga by the name, that nigga was big. Nigga had a low haircut, bald. Nigga had arms big, you know what I'm saying? Short, big stalk motherfucker. And they call that nigga Scooby-Doo out of Banks. Man, that motherfucking nigga Scooby-Doo, man, I'm telling you, these niggas just don't give a fuck. And then they had this other nigga that fucked me up. And he was on the phone, mouth full of golds, diamonds, and crushed out. And they call that nigga Jason Johnson. Jam. You heard me? And Jam. These niggas here are retarded. But they got a couple of niggas in there. They got Bob, they got Ugly, and they got Tinker. You know what I'm saying? And I can remember these niggas because these was the same niggas used to constantly watch me get my ass whooped. Man, come on, man. Watch me get...